Hello, folks. You know, the weather hasn't really been cooperating for me. I wanted to make a video here the last week or so on my first inspection of the year, but like I said, the weather isn't cooperating. It's been a little bit cool or just way too windy. So today I decided to pick my beekeeping toolbox and kind of give you a tour of what I carry to the bee yard and what's contained in my toolbox. Now, this particular toolbox I built myself in the wood shop. Didn't take a whole lot of material. Took a little bit more time because I didn't really have any dimensions or details or blueprints. I just it's something I came up with on my own. Now, looking back, if I would have did anything different, I would have made a place either on the outside of the toolbox or on the inside to carry a grafting frame. But you'll live and learn, right? So let me open it up and I'll show you what's within. Okay, right off the bat, one of the first things I want to point out before we even get into the inside of the toolbox, smoker carrier. And basically I just took a piece of metal and I bent it to a hook shape and screwed it to the side of the box. Down here at the bottom there is I believe this is a 5/8 dowel rod, and that dowel rod sits right underneath the bellow and supports it. The hook grabs a hold of the cage on my smoker. So this particular setup wouldn't work on the older style smokers that have no cage. Okay, now to the inside. The first thing I want to go over is this popcorn tin. And you're going to say, why does he take popcorn to the bee yard? It's not popcorn. It's smoker fuel. And I just use planer shavings because I do a little bit of woodwork, and when I do my planing, I throw all my shavings into a trash bag and I store them back. I actually have a couple trash bags full of this, so I'm able to not do it for a while and still have enough. So popcorn tin works really well, and I just happened to find one that fits nice in my toolbox with all my other stuff. Set that off to the side. Okay, now on the back of the lid here, you can see I've made it to where I can use pretty much every space within the box. I put this hanger up here to hold my bee brush. It's got a screw that holds the end of the handle, and then this comes up and latches over and puts pressure on my hive tool so it doesn't fall out. Pretty simple. It's all right there where I know where it is every time I get in the toolbox. And if I have one of my helpers with me, like my daughter or something, she's able just to go to the box and I can tell her exactly where the stuff is I need. Down in the bottom, these aren't used all the time, but I have my inspection gloves. Now these are the leather gloves with the canvas sewn on and the elastic. These go up to your sleeve, or to your elbow. Very nice, but I don't use them very often. I got my homemade clean marking tool. This is something I actually have a video on, and I'll put a link to how to make these at the end of this video. Pretty simple, but this thing works great, and I've used it a lot over the last few years. As you can probably see, all the red and green still on the end. Rubber bands, if you do cutouts, then you know about rubber bands. Rubber bands are very nice for taking comb, cutting it out, and you can take the rubber bands and hold it in another frame until the bees attach the comb to the frame. So, I've always found it handy to keep rubber bands in my box. I don't use them all the time, but hey, when you need something like this, you need it. So, it's just something I carry with me. I carry a couple pieces of wax. Now, what I use that for is for starter strips for my mini nukes. And it works really well. I'm able to break it off one section up to the wire, and there's a strip to get them started to draw out comb. A rag. This is just an old washcloth, and what I use this for is when I'm grafting. I'll get it nice and damp, and I'll lay this over the larva while I'm grafting. Keeps them from drying out. on them hot, warm, sunny days. So that's what that's for. Sweatband. You know, I laughed when this was given to me, but at the same time, it does help. When you're in the beehive, or you're grafting, or whatever it might be, you know it gets hot. And I have a vented jacket, and still it gets a little bit warm. So the sweatband keeps the sweat out of my eyes and keeps me able to keep working until the job is done. Handy little thing there. Latex gloves. I don't use these very often either, but there is times when I go through the hive and I don't want the propolis all over my hands because it can be kind of tough to wash off. So I wear these. The stinger will go through the latex gloves, just so you know, in case you're curious. But I carry them with me too. My second hive tool. This particular tool, the only thing special from this one to that one is this one has the flame. This one has the frame lifter, where you go down and underneath the end of the frame, and you're able to pry it and elevate it so you can grab it. It seems like whenever I take just one of them hive tools to the bee yard, I always wish I had the other one, so I just carry the whole toolbox with me anymore. It just makes things a lot simpler. Queen protectors. Now how these work, in case you're new and don't know much about them, when you do your grafting and you raise queens and you get your queen cell, the day that before it emerges, you want to take the queen cell out and place it in a queenless nuke. Well, what I do is use these queen protectors, and I'll slide the cell down in there just like that, and I'll stick it like this in the nuke. And what this does is keep the bees from chewing out the side and killing the queen. The only part they can chew on is the tip, so the queen is able to emerge. These work great. I really like them. They're not very expensive. I think you can get 100 of them for like $10 or something. So real nice to have with you if you do any grafting at all. Nosevet Plus. This is for nosema, and I am just amazed at how well this stuff has managed to keep nosema from my bees and how quick it promotes buildup in the spring. This is certified organic. It contains complete vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and food supplements. It's a really good product. So yeah, I really like this product, and I can feel that I'm going to have to get more. This is my queen baiting setup here. I've got my cotton balls and a pill bottle, and I've got my homemade queen lure. Basically, let me just go ahead and explain it to you. You take some rubbing alcohol whenever you have a queen that you want to get rid of. Maybe you have some queen cells that are about to merge that you do not want. You can take them queens, you can pinch them and kill them, throw them in the rubbing alcohol, and the rubbing alcohol will absorb all the pheromones from that queen. Now, a good little trick that the Fat Bee Man suggests is you take a stick or a pencil and you smash them. I like that idea. That's a good idea. Helps let them pheromones outside of the bee. Makes it easier for the alcohol to absorb them. So you can see here I've almost went through this. It was half full when I started, and it's worked out really well. I've actually started another bottle. But anyway, what you would do is you would take and put a little dab of this on one of the cotton balls and throw it in your swarm trap and use it as a swarm lure, because all them pheromones are going to draw in some swarms, right? All right. And then I also carry my chocolate mint cream wafers. These are really good. No, just kidding. I've actually got a large assortment of things in here. Beeswax candle in case I need to melt some wax to hold something together or place something somewhere. Beeswax candle works great. These are some Chinese grafting tools I bought in bulk for really cheap, and I really liked this brand. So I ordered them in bulk. Queen catching cage. This is actually the only metal stainless steel queen catcher I've ever seen, and I believe I got this from Dan. Really like that. The queen it's like an excluder, you know, the queen's not able to get through these holes, so she's contained within. So if you got a queen that you're wanting to add to a colony, you can put her in here instead of a queen cage and give her a couple days before you release her, letting her out into the colony. I like this. Got my markers for marking the different years. Do need to get another yellow, but must have. It makes finding the queen a lot easier, and you're able to tell, you know, what year she's from. So I really like these. Help out a lot. I carry a couple queen cages with me, just in case I would happen to find a queen that I want to transport to somewhere else. And within here, I've got a couple Chinese grafting tools that I've been using a lot the last couple years. And there is a little bit of a difference. Now, when I first started grafting and took my queen rearing class, they told me then and there, told the whole class actually, the Chinese grafting tool works great, but you might have to buy 20 of them to find 5 good ones. I can see that that's true to a certain degree. If you fiddle with the tip of them enough and get them bent to the right angle, usually they work pretty good. But this one here is my favorite. And the reason it's my favorite is because the plunger is bamboo instead of the plastic. I really like that. It seems to slide a lot smoother and pushes the larva off a lot easier than this one. This one's plastic, but you know, I've bent it enough that it's worked great for me over the years. So I've kind of just kept them in this tube to keep them protected and to keep the ends from getting bent up. So there you go, Chinese grafting tools. I just threw these earplugs in the end to keep them from falling out. The JZBZ grafting tool got a little hook here on the end where you can go down and scoop up the larva. This is a pretty nice tool for, you know, being what it is, just cheap plastic. It's held up really well. I should probably have it in a tube like this so that the end doesn't get broke, but I can see it's still holding up fine. And like I said, this is made by JZBZ. A little knife. You know, I use this for when I'm cleaning up frames. I don't really use this much in the bee yard, but if I'm cleaning up some frames to put some new foundation on them, this little knife really works nice. And these here, I got a few of these in the bottom, and I don't use them. I just carry them with me in case I would need to one day. And what these are is pellets for a wood stove, also used as smoker fuel. Now, you can pick a bag of these up really, really cheap if you don't have access to the planer shavings or anything like that used for smoker fuel. So wood pellets. And then this is my queen cup making dowel rod. You know, you dip it in the wax and make your own little queen cups. I'll leave a link for that at the end too in case you're curious about that. Okay, now let me put this stuff back where it goes. Somewhat. And last but not least, here on the front, I have my veil, and I have a little short bungee running from one side to the other, and it keeps my veil right to the front of the toolbox. It's a must-have, you know, having your veil. I don't always take my jacket, but I always have my veil. Nobody likes getting stung on the face. So there you be, folks. It's about that time of year where we can all get in our bees and do what we love to do. So if you're thinking about a toolbox or something to carry around, you like to play around with wood in the wood shop, maybe this is the project for a rainy day. It wouldn't take long to throw one together, and you would have all your stuff contained in one place, make it easy to carry around. I I hope this idea has maybe ignited a fire in you to go out